This is going to be an extraordinary morning as we close out this 67th annual meeting of the Congress of Neurological Surgeons. Over the next 3.5 hours, you are going to hear from some of the most insightful neurosurgeons, researchers, authors, and businesswomen to be found in the U.S. They will not all share the same perspective. The great American writer F. Scott Fitzgerald once said that the test of a first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold two opposed ideas in the mind at the same time and still retain the ability to function. We will put ourselves to that test today. Leading off this morning will be our honored guest, Dr. Al Cohen, who will deliver his third keynote, this time on the theme of curiosity. It is a very appropriate topic for neurosurgeons. From its very beginnings, curiosity has been what has set neurosurgeons apart. Curiosity has required that we let go of our fears, fear of being wrong, fear of looking foolish, fear of failing, in order to find something better on the other side of that fear. Curiosity is also what drives empathy, to see things from another person's perspective and understand what they are going through. Our next speaker, author Geoff Colvin, is going to speak about how that very unique human trait of empathy is what makes us so indispensable in a world of rapidly expanding technology. It is the difference between something that is good and something that is great. He will discuss his latest book, Humans Are Underrated, which highlights how technology will never replace traits and skills that are uniquely human, such as reading the emotions of others, building relationships, creating functioning teams, and showing sensitivity to the needs of those around us. After a coffee break with our vendor partners in the exhibit hall, we will come back to hear a very different perspective. Kathy McGrady-Getz, Vice President of Partnerships and Solutions for IBM Watson Health, will talk about how IBM is creating the future of healthcare with the amazing technology of machine-augmented intelligence. IBM's Watson, for those of you unfamiliar with the technology, is a project put together by scientists at IBM to beat human challengers at the game of Jeopardy, which it did for the first time in 2011. The IBM Watson team then turned its 90 servers, 2,880 processors, 16 terabytes of RAM, and ability to read and understand 800 million pages of text per second to solve bigger and more difficult problems in human disease and the life sciences. Ms. McGrady-Getz will discuss how the use of cognitive computing, big data, and analytics is helping solve some of those problems and find the needles in increasingly larger haystacks. We will also hear from scientist and author Dr. Anders Ericsson, professor of psychology at Florida State University. Dr. Ericsson is one of the world's foremost authorities on problem-solving, learning, and skilled performance. His research on expert performance through deliberate practice in domains such as music, science, sports, and gaming has changed the way people think, practice, and perform around the world. His work has influenced contemporary authors such as Malcolm Gladwell, who used Dr. Ericsson's research as the basis for his book Outliers and the notion of 10,000 hours of deliberate practice to achieve greatness. This morning we will also hear from my friend and colleague, Dr. Yoshitaka Narita, President of the Japanese Congress of Neurological Surgeons. The JCNS has been a partner society of the Congress of Neurological Surgeons for well over 30 years, and we are fortunate to have a program of exchange visits between the officers of the JCNS and the CNS during that time. Dr. Narita will be discussing clinical trials for malignant brain tumors. Also throughout the morning, we will once again be adding in a number of moments of celebration. We will announce the top posters of this year's meeting, as well as present the winners of the SANS Resident Challenge and more of the top papers published in neurosurgery over the last year. I would also like to take just a moment, as I wind down my time as President of the Congress of Neurological Surgeons, to thank you, our members, for your attendance, patronage, and support of CNS events and programs. Please know that providing industry-leading neurosurgical education like this annual meeting takes an enormous amount of hard work from very dedicated people. The team at the CNS office, led by Regina Shupak, is without equal. I think you will all agree with me that there is a profound difference between the results of a team that shows up each day to perform their job and a team that shows up each day filled with passion and the desire to make a difference. That is how the CNS team works, and that is why over the last 67 years, the CNS has been able to remain contemporary, relevant, and innovative. I thank each of you on the CNS Home Office team for your continued passion for the mission of this great organization. If you would all stand for a moment to be recognized. I would also like to thank my fellow CNS Executive Committee members. Great, meaningful educational experiences always depend on the planning, preparation, and quality of the faculty presenting. In addition to the daily requirements of caring for their families, attending to patients, performing surgeries, teaching residents, serving on innumerable hospital and medical school committees, and maintaining their research interests, each of the individuals in this picture dedicates hundreds of unpaid hours annually to the service of the CNS and creating exceptional educational experiences for you, our members and friends. I assure all of you here today that the strength of this organization, both now and into the future, is in excellent hands with this exceptional group of people. Would you please stand and be recognized? Finally, before turning it over to Big Al for his final keynote, I would like to take a moment to extend my personal thanks to two groups of people who I am deeply grateful for and without whom I would not have been able to serve the Congress for the past 12 years. First, my neurosurgical partners, my physician's assistant, Jason Glenn, and all the leaders and staff at Mercy Springfield. Thank you for doing all the jobs I was supposed to be doing over the past decade, covering call, doing cases, rounds, clinic, also I could attend CNS meetings and functions. I am so thankful to you for the gift of your time and friendship. Last, but most importantly, my wife Mira, my children Evelyn, William, and Harrison, my parents and in-laws, and my entire family, thank you for your unconditional love and support. Someday, when I look back on these years, I am sure I will forget many of the issues and challenges that have been part of being a leader for the Congress, but I will never forget the travel and experiences we have been able to share together as a family as part of the CNS. Those are the moments that have made it so special, and it is what I will miss the most as I move on and we get to see the next generation of neurosurgical leaders guide this great organization. And finally, to you, the members of the Congress of Neurological Surgeons, thank you for electing me as your president for this past year. It has truly been one of the great honors of my professional life.